Hello there, my name is Tim Skinner. I'm here at Mobile World Congress 2017 and today I'm speaking with Esmaeel Al Hammadi from Etisalat. Hello.
Hi.
And Mohammed Shanableh from Affirmed Networks. Hello.
Hi Tim.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Esmaeel, we'll start with you then. We are here today discussing network functions virtualization, and I understand that Etisalat is in the midst of quite an extensive project. So why don't we begin just by talking about why Etisalat is looking at network functions virtualization as a new technology?
Etisalat has always been on the edge of technology and always been a pioneer in introducing new technologies. We have been the first to do 3G network in the region, for example. We've been one of the first to do fiber to the home, for example. We are number one in the world in fiber penetration. So throughout the 40 years of Etisalat, always we try to be in the front of any technology. Now,
Sure.
Network virtualization is not only a new technology, it's a new transition in the way of work and life and things we do. We are looking for agility and better customer experience and better time to market. And all this, it really needs a new way of working now. So that's why Etisalat decided to go to the virtualization and start the new transition.
Why would you say this specific technology is helpful in managing your network? What areas of the network are you looking to virtualize first?
We're starting with the core initially, the packet core, the EPCs. We are virtualizing the consumer traffic. We are virtualizing also what we call virtual CPE. We're introducing virtual CPE, let's say, better word, that will provide additional services to the customers at the edge. The business enterprise customer, for example, can get additional services on the spot, like security, like analytics, like internet, faster internet. So many things are being virtualized.
I mean, would either of you like to sort of chip in as to why operators are becoming very excited about this technology? What will it enable you to do in the future that you can't do today?
It's basically like we said again, it's agility and time to market and introduction of new services on the spot. Today in the legacy network, we are very slow. To introduce any new service, you have to go weeks and weeks and weeks. Tomorrow, when you have the virtual infrastructure, any time the customer wants something, you do it almost on the spot. In fact, you are giving more empowerment to the customer. And he can pick and choose whatever menu he wants.
Sure.
It's like an app store, you download your app and you are plugged in and you work.
I think with any sort of major technology transformation, there requires a certain element of getting sort of corporate buy-in, and organisationally there's a lot of work that needs to go in there. How did you go about getting network functions virtualization, specifically the projects that you're looking to implement? How did you gain sort of the corporate buy-in? How culturally, how did things change? Organisationally, how did Etisalat approach this?
Yes, good question. Actually, this is one of the major, the main issue with virtualization today is not technology.
Sure.
It's hard, yes, we have to do something, but organization and the way of thinking, especially for an engineer to turn him into IT engineer instead of engineer, it's really mind-changing. And so it's about, we have to do education, we have to depend on partners to work together and develop with us the roll out, manage, implement, knowledge transfer, things like this. And eventually we have to change the way of work, maybe introduce what we call DevOps concept in the network. So every development, operation, product rollout, maybe be as one team.
And with your ongoing projects, are you approaching a live status with this in the network, or are you very much in trial phase? Or
no, we have launched, like we said, an EPC core.
So that's now live for customers.
Live carrying customers already, and we're introducing more customers. We are introducing, like we said, virtual CPE for consumer very soon, and roadmap is coming soon.
Excellent. So we'll hear from Mohammed very shortly. But just lastly, then that just leads me on to ask, sort of, why are you working with Affirmed Networks on this project? Why did you choose Affirmed Networks?
Well, any operator basically will look for somebody innovative companies, flexible companies, agile companies, people who can يعني be like we said, I want to be first and I want to be innovative. You like somebody who can help you achieve that place and be fast with you. You ask him something, he will do. A quick partner, and Affirmed really been there for us. Agile, fast, flexible, and we grew together. So first virtual function came from them.
Appreciate the partnership as well. So I mean, I think one thing that's been kind of unique about Etisalat is they've always driven innovation in the market. So when the project got started, is instead of just looking at an approach of taking boxes or elements in the network and let's just virtualize those. Etisalat really put more of the vision kind of years out. So looking not only at just a capital operational type, it's really they looked at what all the services that are new that they want to introduce to the market. So along with the traditional services, whether it's consumer or connected car, or they actually looking forward, just like you mentioned the VCPE, mentioning other projects, avenues. So as they set out to do this project, they had really good strategic thinking about it, and we're very excited to work with the innovator in the region. So it's been a great partnership and very appreciative of their efforts.
So all the talks these days, about IoT and 5G, and I don't think they will be realized without the virtual base.
Correct.
I entirely agree. I mean, we're here at Mobile World Congress this week, and there has been a lot of talk about 5G and IoT, but almost kind of forgetting that there's a lot of hard work that needs to be going in now to make sure we're ready for that.
Exactly.
So, Mohammed, just turning to you then for a second. Etisalat represents quite a major sort of global operator partner of yours. Your thoughts on the partnership as it stands at the moment, and the innovative approach that you're both taking to this
Yeah, it's kind of similar to the comments already made. It's a lot from day one when they said we're going to set out on this venture. Again, they looked years out saying this is kind of where we want to be. So this open architecture, totally open interfaces, no proprietary solutions, virtualized functions, driving the applications, again, being able to adapt to new applications, not just the existing consumer or enterprise markets, but kind of new ideas, a new way of doing dynamic charging, new way of doing, some new use cases. That was really critical to them up front. So they were open-minded, worked with us, shared with us their design criteria. We built really an extension of their lab. So our team is on the ground with their team, working together, and really it's amazing to see how they, I think Esmaeel, you may agree to this, is kind of shrank a whole test cycle of months and months of regression into really taking a product in a matter of weeks from inception of a release through the lab into the production. And I give them a lot of credit of really brought the right talent, work along with our people on the ground. And there's always, whenever you venture into new technology, it's always how fast can you get it inserted into production. And I think from the time we started the engagement to actually first live traffic, I think it was pretty speedy.
And just finally then, Mohammed, just to wrap up then, if you were to have this conversation with other operators in the industry, what words of advice would you pass out there? I mean, it's very important at this stage of the technology that the industry really continues to collaborate. So what words of advice would you have?
I think people need to really spend the time picking the right partner, because at the end of the day, it's an engagement with a spirit of partnership, not just a supplier operator type engagement. Because the challenge with virtualization is what Esmaeel highlighted, is around the whole how you turn the product into an operation type environment. So this whole area of DevOps requires a true partnership between the operator and the supplier. And we feel, obviously, we operate in that spirit, but it's probably not the normal spirit from your traditional suppliers. So I think the partnership is important. The other thing is make sure you work with an open infrastructure. Yeah. And so the idea is make sure what you're actually adopting as the going forward strategy is open infrastructure, open interfaces. No need to lock yourself in a closed environment, because then you just moved from one box to another box. So do the right thinking up front, so you don't have to go through this forklift every once in a while, right? It's too painful. So now you're virtualizing, 5G is going to come around maybe a year or two from now. What do you do next? So just make sure you pick the right architecture that has true separation of the user and control plane up front, does true virtualizations, totally independent of the hardware and hypervisor. This is what Affirmed is about, right? And this is I think why we have scaled the way we have scaled so far. And again, the spirit of partnership is key.
Excellent. Well, gentlemen, thank you both very much indeed for joining us today. It's been a great conversation.
Thank you so much. You take care.
Thank you.